When I say that I'm not the biggest anime guy, I want you guys to take my full meaning. Anime is so vast and different from each other that such a statement is kind of out of place. You're not into certain types of anime is a better statement, for example. There are a lot of people who are immediately turned off by the whole art style. Through cultural differences, some works may not connect with you, or may even feel offensive because of the perspective offered. What I always realized is that so much stuff I love has its origin in manga or anime. I'm a true 90s kid, and I too was taken away by the Pokemon and Dragonball Z craze of the late 90s. Those franchises encouraged me to discover more anime, however, and I will never forget a certain December evening when I rented a VHS tape that had an amazing, intriguing cover. I had no idea yet that I was about to watch one of the best pieces of cinema I had ever seen. I'm talking about Royal Space Force, or The Wings of Animes. There was so much creativity on display, and it felt like a Jules Verne novel turned into an animation film, but for adults. I remember my dad explaining why these were for adults, but it didn't really register with me. I mean, why would adults be watching cartoons? That question is legitimate, but it has a big why not answer. This is where our cultural differences are evident, and where I begin to wonder, are we perhaps outdated in the West? Today I want to talk about a piece of entertainment that made me feel more than any piece of Western entertainment managed to do in the last 10 years. High Score Girl. High Score Girl is about a young gamer in the early 90s who meets his ultimate rival in the local arcade. She turns out to be a mute, rich girl with a talent for fighters and beat-em-ups. Through their eyes we experience what the early 90s were like in Japan. How in a few years' time the gaming industry went to arguably its biggest changes. The early 90s were considered by many people to be the pinnacle of gaming history. With this as the setting for the story of Haruo and Akira, we feel a deep love for the history of gaming and what it did for pop culture. Seeing Haruo so excited about his PC engine, feeling like it was almost his own little personal discovery, made me see that machine in a different light. When I look at it now, I feel a love and admiration. It's not just a console anymore. It's legitimized in its legendary status, and it has become a story in itself. The animation style on High Score Girl is CG hybrid, which means that it's a combination of hand-drawn and computer-generated images. Some people really dislike the style, but I don't care that much. What I do care about is the music. There's some next level stuff going on here. People are trying to decipher its genre, but to me it sounds like a combination of pop and jazz fusion. The attention to detail in the series is astounding, and I'm talking about attention to detail when it comes to emotion. The energy we project through our desires, things we tell ourselves to obscure our true feelings, and women's intuition. I really felt like that little boy again watching this show, and I thought about my first love, the games I played in my frame of reference, and about how it was like discovering what love was all about. Through the episode progression, I fell in love, just like the main character. The love story takes its time. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I can say that if you've seen the first 2 episodes, you can kind of see where it's headed. No single aspect of this story feels rushed, and all feelings and experiences surrounding it are taken into account. There was amazing character development through this attention to detail. I have a theory that it is the Japanese Bushido culture that is fundamental to this eye for detail. I've seen a video explaining why Bushido may be the root to all social problems in Japan, but I believe therein lies also her strength. It seems like that there are little nuances we seem to have forgotten along the way. Things that make us human. I feel that at least in my country we seem to live for the moments when we sacrifice a part of ourselves to return to a primal state of being. We work all week, take shit and then let it all loose in the weekends. I'm fascinated by a culture that teaches patience, a love for nature and all its serenity, and a deep respect for human dignity. High Score Girl had all these elements in abundance, and a lot of humor as well. After the last episode, I cried like a baby. It was like a small door in my heart was opened after years that I didn't even know was closed. I will forever love this show and what it has done for me. I can only hope that some of you have a similar experience, or that this video will persuade you to give this treasure of entertainment its fair chance.